Dear friends, today we are celebrating the solemnity of the Annunciation to Mary. We might think that it is a distraction. A distraction because we are in Lent. So why bringing the readings we have in the time of Advent, preparing us for Christmas? We are in Lent, and we should be focusing on things related to Lent. So, why is the church giving us today this solemnity of the Annunciation on the 25th of March? While we're supposed to be focusing on what is related to Lent or what is preparing us to Easter. But actually, the response is simple. First of all, Jesus will celebrate his nativity on the 25th of December. So he was not born premature. So 9 months before 25th of December is 25th of March. So that is the first logical reason, that 25th of December, 9 months earlier, is the moment of the conception after the fiat, after the years of Mary. That's why we have it on the 25th of March. And remember also from the text we have, the angel went to Mary on the 6th month of the pregnancy of Elizabeth. That is why, if you count between the birth of Jesus and the birth of John the Baptist, we have 6 months. The birth of John the Baptist is celebrated on the 24th of June. So 24th of June and 24th, 25th of December, exactly 6 months. So this is the arrangement the liturgy or the liturgical calendar does for us. But above that, on the top of that, we also have the fact that the incarnation cannot be separated from the redemption, the mystery of redemption. So Christ came into this world in order to save us. So what we are celebrating today is not a distraction. It's actually what prepares us to understand better our own salvation. As we have read in the second reading, in the letter to the Hebrews, it is saying, you wanted no sacrifice or oblation. You wanted no sacrifice or oblation, prepared a body for me. You prepared a body for me. You did not want a sacrifice or oblation. You did not want the blood of animals to redeem human beings. And you prepared a body for me. So the incarnation is directed as in view with the mystery, the paschal mystery we celebrate at Easter, and especially during the Holy Week. And now another thing I can share with you is the fact that Mary of Nazareth played a great role in our salvation, and in various ways. You see, if there is a human person on earth, when she saw Jesus, and the only person who could say, like the man in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 23, at last, this one is bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. The only person, the only creature on earth who could say it about Jesus is Mary. That when Mary saw Jesus in front of her, she can say like man in the book of Genesis, this one is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. Because Jesus took flesh of the Virgin Mary. You know, in life, sometimes you meet a son who looks like the mother. So when you see Jesus, if we had lived 2,000 years ago, in the land of Jesus, land of Israel, Palestine, we could have seen that Jesus physically looked like his mother. That when he's smiling, when he's walking, people can identify him as the son of Mary of Nazareth. You know, like, I think there are some many sons who looks like the mother. We say, oh, this boy looks like the mother. And this is true between Jesus and Mary. But not just physical things, not just biology. When Jesus dies on the cross, the blood is shed, and then that flesh is crucified. It is the flesh he took from Virgin Mary. So that when he said, this is my body given up for you, it's the body of Jesus. But for it to have become a reality, he needed to take flesh of the Virgin Mary. So in the Eucharistic celebration, in what Jesus said, this is my body given up for you, or when he says, this is the chalice of my blood, the blood of eternal son, the blood of the eternal covenant that will be shed for you, that blood is connected also to the flesh of Mary. So that the crucified Lord on the cross, that body hanging on the cross, is also the body he took from the Virgin Mary. So the link is very strong. The link is very strong. You cannot separate what we are celebrating today from the redemption we get in Christ. His death on the cross and his resurrection. And just like you cannot understand what we celebrate during the Holy Week without what began in the Incarnation. So the Virgin Mary collaborated very well to the mystery of our salvation. Even for the Christians who don't understand their role or who criticize the Church of her Son for acknowledging the place of Mary, the Virgin Mary is there for all, interceding for all. And there is another thing I like very much with Mary, and then it's good to emphasize it. It is the courage of Mary in saying yes to what God told her. You remember, before the apparition, before the angel came to Mary, the angel has been with whom? With Zechariah, the father of John the Baptist and the husband of Elizabeth. Can you imagine that Zechariah was a priest? And he had a vision in the temple, yet he did not believe. A priest having the visitation of the angel of the Lord, Angel Gabriel, in the temple, and the man did not believe. He said, well, how would I know what you are telling me is true? I am old, my wife is old. He did not believe. And then the angel to tell him, I am Gabriel, I was sent to announce this thing to you. Now you are not going to speak anymore until this is fulfilled. That is a priest. Huh? But this is a lay woman, a young girl. It is not even the context of the temple. She only asked the question about how it's going to be made possible because she knows no man, she's a virgin. And then the angel gives her the explanation and she says, behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Be done to me according to thy word. So you see, you can contrast Mary with Zechariah. But even with Moses, if you remember the vocation of Moses, how many times Moses was hesitating, saying, no, what will happen? Oh, well, I don't know how to speak. Okay, I'm going to give you a spokesperson, Aaron, your brother. Moses hesitated. Now look at Mary. Mary says, I am the handmaid of the Lord. Be done to me according to thy word. But when I'm talking about the courage of Mary, there is one thing which we often forget. In the Jewish culture of Mary, becoming pregnant outside wedlock, when you were already betrothed to a man for marriage, like for her with Joseph, it exposed her to death by stoning, shameful death. So that is what Joseph, in the Gospel according to Matthew, was trying to avoid by planning to repudiate Mary secretly. So Mary knew that in her culture, if you are pregnant outside wedlock, especially as you have been prepared for marriage, it's going to bring shame to your family. And yet, she accepted. So she did not fear about society. She did not fear about the possible repercussions of her decision. With courage, she said, yes, I totally surrender myself to the Lord. I am His handmaid. So let's never forget that aspect of the courage of this young woman, who, knowing very well what would have been the consequences for her, to say, if that is what God wants for me, that is what the Lord wants for me, I will go for it. I will go for it. There will be nothing which will stop me for accepting to be the mother of the Savior of the world. The courage of Mary. And this also will be the courage of Jesus. And the courage of people like John the Baptist. Like we accept to commit ourselves 100% to the will of God. We don't care about the repercussion on us. Of course, God will not abandon me. And one last thing, especially in this context, as we say today, the Pope has asked the Christians for all denominations to pray for the end of the coronavirus. And what is very important and very interesting for all of us is the fact that in this gospel, the angel of the Lord said to Mary, nothing is impossible to God. Nothing is impossible to God. So we have to believe that. Even if the coronavirus has only human or natural origin or causes, we know that nothing is impossible to God. So, even if the scientists, all of them are working to find a solution, we know that with God we have a strong ally. Nothing is impossible to God. So if nothing is impossible to God, by making a virgin to become a mother and raising a dead from his tomb, from his grave, how much more with the virus? Nothing is impossible to God. So we continue to pray for an end to this coronavirus outbreak or pandemic. Amen.